When I told people that I was planning a solo motorcycle trip from my home in South Carolina to visit my sister in Indiana, one of the questions I was asked, do you prefer traveling alone? Welcome to day 2 of my solo motorcycle trip to Indiana. On the first day, I rode for over 13 hours, clocking in nearly 665 miles before stopping for the night in Henderson, Kentucky. It was a nice, rewarding ride. On this day, I'm heading back out on the road with around 170 to 180 miles ahead of me. In this video, I will take you along for that ride, stop at a fascinating historical site in one of the oldest towns in Indiana, and share some reflections on what it's like riding solo.
Morning after my first long ride of the year, and I am stiff. One thing about riding 3 wheels is there's a lot of arm movements, a lot of pushing, a lot of pulling, and it really helps build the bicep, tricep, and shoulder, deltoid, all these muscles here. And I feel great. My Fitbit said I walked 62,000 steps yesterday. Well, I know I did not walk 62,000 steps, but with how tight my muscles feel this morning in my arms, I know that I got a good workout. That in a combination with the fasting really is helping me feel great this morning. Ready for that cup of coffee and then get loaded up, and I'll meet you out at the motorcycle. Powdered eggs are doing a number on my stomach. Probably would have been better not to eat at all. It's about a 3-hour ride, I think 170 miles, somewhere around there to go. I'm going to take my time. I should be to Melinda's between 2 and 3. I'm excited to see her. After a quick prayer, asking the Lord for safe travels, I am ready to go. I head over across the street to get gas and then head up Highway 41. I come to the Ohio River, and I love these cantilever truss bridges. I get a tinge of excitement seeing them and crossing them every single time. Yep, you guessed it. I did some research on these bridges. According to the historicalbridges.org website, and I'll leave it linked down in the notes section below, this northbound bridge, now called the Bi-State Vietnam Gold Star Twin Bridge, was the original bridge and was completed in 1932. It is an increasingly rare example of a riveted cantilever truss bridge. In 1965, a second cantilever truss bridge was built to form a one-way couplet of bridges. This second bridge is named the John James Audubon Bridge, and it carries southbound traffic to Kentucky. Today, the bridges are commonly called the Twin Bridges, although when looking at the bridges, it is obvious they are anything but twins. Each bridge has the design details of the period in which it was built. Crossing this bridge brings to mind some great childhood memories of crossing the Ohio River from Indiana into Louisville, Kentucky, on our way to visit our dad's family. I loved the bridges then, and I love them now. Sad to say, these types of bridges are all going by the wayside as new modern bridges are built, including the one going into Louisville that we used to cross. One of the reasons I chose to come up Highway 41 this trip is because I love the rolling hills of southern Indiana that open up to the vast corn and soybean fields. Just a beautiful part of the country in its own way. Very relaxing and enjoyable ride. I am going to get off the highway here in Vincense, Indiana to drive by the George Rogers Clark National Historic Park and Monument. This is another place we visited as children and carries some fond memories for me. I will not be getting off the motorcycle to look around today because I really want to get to Melinda's house. But let me share some pictures and video clips from when we were here in 2022 with our parents and Melinda's husband. The Visitor Center and Memorial is open 9 to 5 daily and is free. Visitors are encouraged to plan at least 1 hour for the Visitor Center and Memorial. However, take your time enjoying the park grounds. There is a picnic area to sit and eat lunch, and sidewalks are located throughout the park, leading to a variety of monuments and statues. The grounds are spectacular and a peaceful place to just walk around. Check out the placards, learn about the history of the events that took place here, and just look out over the Wabash River. Now, let's head over to the place where the tour actually starts, the Visitor Center. Once inside, there's a small exhibit and more to read. There is also a 30-minute introductory movie called Long Knives. This movie shares the backstory of George Rogers Clark and his military campaign. The ranger at the Visitor Center will answer any questions that you have and take visitors over to the memorial when ready. As we head over to the memorial, let me share a little information about George Rogers Clark. Through his military ventures, Clark would do much to expand the territorial boundaries of the United States. Born in Virginia on November 19, 1752, Clark was a surveyor in the Kentucky Territory during the American Revolution and served as a private in the Virginia militia. Clark took it upon himself to raise troops and organize offensive campaigns against British forts. Most notable for him was in February of 1779 when he marched his men 180 miles over rough, wet terrain to Vincennes. They enjoyed immense success when they took Fort Sackville on February 25th. This earned Clark a reputation as an early American military hero. Clark had many accomplishments that you can read about. I will link this information down in the notes section so you can check it out. This memorial is at the site of Fort Sackville. During the early 1920s, as the 150th anniversary of the American Revolution neared, citizens of Vincennes and of Indiana wanted to establish a memorial at or near the site of Fort Sackville commemorating the winning of the Old Northwest and the achievement of George Rogers Clark and his associates. On June 14, 1936, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt dedicated the memorial. In 1940, the memorial became a unit of the Indiana Department of Conservation. In 1966, Congress made the building and grounds a part of the National Park Service. The Clark Memorial is more than 80 feet high and is 90 feet across at the base. The walls are 2 feet thick. The exterior is composed of granite from Vermont, Minnesota, and Alabama. Towering over the entrance is an eagle with outspread wings. Above the 16 Doric columns is an inscription which reads, "The Conquest of the West, George Rogers Clark, and the Frontiersmen of the American Revolution." Inside the rotunda are 7 murals. Each of them were created on a single piece of Belgian linen 16 feet by 28 feet. They were painted during a period of approximately 2.5 years and depict the story of George Rogers Clark. Along the top, above the murals, 3 of Clark's quotations are inscribed. A memorial such as this serves as a reminder that courage, fortitude, and valor do not go out of style. We are currently on the Indiana side of the Wabash, here at the memorial. But if you cross this bridge, you actually enter Illinois. And that is where I am heading now, over the Lincoln Memorial Bridge to see the Lincoln Trail State Memorial. This memorial marks the location where, according to tradition, Abraham Lincoln entered Illinois with his family in early March of 1830. The monument was dedicated in 1838 and is a full-length bronze figure of Lincoln set within a sculptured limestone wall panel that depicts 3 adults and 2 children walking beside an ox-driven covered wagon, with an angel leading them to their new home. Now back to Indiana, and another historic place of interest here in Vincennes is nearby Grouseland. It is only a mile from the monument and worth seeing if you like old homes and history, which I definitely do. I did not drive over there today because I wanted to get back out on the road towards Melinda's, but I do have pictures and video clips to share of that tour that we took last year. I also have some information I learned about Harrison and Grouseland. Grouseland was the home of William Henry Harrison, who was a military officer and governor of the Indiana Territory from 1800 to 1812. He was a politician and the 9th President of the United States. He became president on March 4th, 1841, and he died April 4th, 31 days later, after developing a cold that turned into pneumonia. Grouseland is a beautiful mansion. Harrison had it built along the Wabash River here in Vincense to be the center of the territorial government. It was his family home and a fortress of protection during hostile times. Grouseland was built in 1802 to 1804. The home was saved from demolition in 1909 by the Francis Vigo chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution, and it has been managed by the Grouseland Foundation since 1999. It has been restored to its significance period of 1800 to 1812. Family members owned the home until approximately 1850. The museum features an impressive collection of art, furniture, and memorabilia. In addition, there are 3 original portraits of Harrison in the collection. I love history and sharing what I learned about these places. I hope this inspires you to get out and explore historic treasures close to where you live or where you travel. In the comment section below, share some of those places you find of historic significance and of interest for you. I would love to hear about them. Now, time to get back out and get to Melinda's. When I tell people I am taking a motorcycle trip by myself, the first question I usually get, is it safe for you to do that by yourself? I shared my response to that question in my last video. The second question I get, do you like riding alone? My response is yes. I like riding alone, just not all the time. What I love about riding alone is I hate being rushed, and I hate being set to someone else's time schedule or expectations. Traveling alone gives me the freedom to come and go as I choose. I do not have to answer to anyone else. I am on my own time schedule and can adapt and change my plans as I see fit. Sometimes I want to be alone and focus on the ride. As I appreciate the time alone, I take the time to meditate on God and view the beautiful scenery. What I do not like about riding alone is sometimes it can be lonely. Sometimes it is just nice to be in a group with like-minded individuals who appreciate a great ride. Ultimately, there's a time for riding solo and a time for riding with others. This trip is one of those alone times, and I am enjoying it.
Stay with me a while. If we leave right now, we can go to a going and gone. So take me home. We can run away to another place, somewhere we can be alone. Take me home and get you elevated to a levitated, and you know that I've been dreaming about you, girl. No, it ain't a mystery. So take me home. I want you to take me home.
No matter how far I ride or how much I enjoy the solo journey, some destinations just hit differently. 6 months apart may not sound like a long time, but for twins, it feels like forever. And this is what I looked forward to these 2 days. That first hug, that smile, it makes every mile worth it. together finally.
Yay! It's been 6 months, and I'm so glad to be back together. I got cleaned up, got some to eat, got plenty to drink, got rehydrated there, and now I'm getting ready to head over to our parents' house. I'm gonna spend the night with them, visit with them a little bit before I start my work week. Yes, I did a 2-day ride up here on a Saturday and Sunday, but I do work from home and I am going to be working for the next 2 weeks. I am taking a couple days off, but for the most part, I'll be working. Yes, and then we do have a birthday to celebrate in a week. Yep. So that was part of the plan for this trip of her being here this week, is we get to celebrate our birthday together. We will be putting this video together, and we've got a couple of other videos planned, so be watching for all of that. And if you've not already done so, hit that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're alerted when new content is available. Okay, until next time, God bless and safe riding out there.